And top on our stories right now, raids are underway across London after police say they've made a, quote, significant arrest in connection to Friday's subway bombing. An 18-year-old man is now in custody. He's from the port town of Dover, approximately 70 miles from the Parsons Green station in southwest London. 30 people were injured when an improvised device partially detonated on a crowded subway car during the morning commute. CBS News foreign correspondent Charlie Daggett joins us now from London. Charlie, always good to see you. Sorry for talking to you under these circumstances right here, but what's the latest on this investigation?
Well, DeMarco, we have to start with that major police operation which is underway in a London suburb, Sunbury. There are hundreds of residents that have been evacuated. As many as 80 security personnel are involved. Now, that follows, as you said, the arrest of an 18-year-old man in Dover, 70 miles from here. What's significant about that is, as Scotland Yard has told us, it is under the Terrorism Act and in connection with the subway attack. Dover is a port town. This is where people go when they want to go to leave the UK and go to continental Europe, places like France. It's one of the main travel hubs. But despite the positive developments, that's what we heard from Home Secretary Amber Rudd today, the terror threat will remain where it is at its highest level, critical, which means that they still believe that a terror attack is imminent.
And we'll talk about that threat level in just a moment. But we know the suspect arrested is just 18 years old. What more can you tell us about him?
Well, you know, we're not getting much information for a few reasons. I think it's, well, I think we can say with some confidence that these raids are connected to that arrest. We spoke to Scotland Yard. We wanted to know, simply put, is this the person who left that device behind? They're not willing to share that information now. So we don't have any ID on him. We know he's 18 years old, again, under the Terrorism Act. So this is directly involved in the investigation that's going on and having to do with the attack on the subway. Anything more than that, they're not being forthcoming with that information, at least not in a way that we can broadcast it.
All right, armed forces searched a home in a London suburb Saturday. What are you hearing about that?
Well, that is a major operation. Now, we heard about it this afternoon. We were out at Parsons Green where the attack took place, and we started getting urgents here at the news desk that this major operation was underway. We now have a team on the ground there. They've been speaking to neighbors. They said that they were evacuating hundreds of people at a local rugby facility. The residents and the neighbors were evacuated there. So they've had this cordon around at least one property that we're aware of. We've seen some aerial shots of what's going on there, but again, in the UK, we're not used to seeing armed soldiers, police on the streets, and we're talking about 80 security personnel. It's being conducted not only with anti-terror police, but with local police, Surrey police, who are also in that area. So it's a major operation. It's big.
Yeah, Charlie, let's go ahead and go back to that threat level if we can. Prime Minister Theresa May raised the threat level to critical. How long can we expect it to remain at that level?
You know, it's a good question. It's not something that they take lightly here. They don't just bounce back and forth. They're just going to the critical level for a number of reasons. First of all, it is a drain on resources because you're now taking in military personnel to take over, or to share, I should say, some of the responsibilities of these armed response units. Again, it's not what we see on London streets or British streets to see armed personnel walking around, but they will be taking up positions, as we've seen in some of the video, around places like Downing Street and Westminster. But this is specific, and it doesn't last long. Just to give you an idea, for the Ariana Grande concert, this terrible bombing that took place in May, the threat level then was raised to critical for only 5 days. So there's no indication now how long this is going to be. I mean, it could be, you know, a matter of days before they bring it down. It will all have to do whether this threat, as it is categorized, is considered imminent.
All right, Charlie Daggett in London. Charlie, thank you.
Thanks, DeMarco.